What do you got there, Fred? What do you got in your hand there?
That's excellent.
We got a little sample of warm syrup they're bottling today, right off the filter press. It's delicious. I can tell it was made with all sugar maple too. Wow. Now that is a super sucker.
That is the one.
That's the one.
Yeah. Now you'd want to bring an elbow off it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if the 2-inch would go down on a drum. We can look and see right here.
Ooh.
I think that's why we
use
the
30 gallon.
40 gallon. It fits. Oh my! That thing's worth it. It's weight in gold for sure. Wow. Yeah, I'd put an elbow on it for sure.
Yeah.
So what does something like that run?
I have to look. I just have no idea.
Sure.
But that's what we would use in the tote.
Yeah.
We'd put a little bridge across the top of it so this didn't hit the bottom of the
And
tote.
accidentally cut it.
Because it's so heavy.
Now, Fred, tell people what you do.
Well, what I do is I work for a company called Spacekraft. We manufacture corrugated disposable totes, which are designed to take the place of a 55-gallon drum or a returnable style stainless or a steel tote. Lower cost, no return freight, takes up less space because they come knocked down flat.
And how did you get such a good parking spot today?
It's because I know the right person.
Well, it's a little snowy out there, and Fred, he's backed right in here, with, right into the evaporator room. So yeah, you got they're already fighting you over this parking spot.
I want you to know that this van does not have a garage at home.
Looks great.
So
Looks
it
great.
really does not know what to think right now.
Yeah, it's happy.
Um,
But we want to show everybody what we pulled out of your van here.
okay.
You want to put that?
Yep.
I'll steal that if you leave it. I won't even feel bad. So we're sipping on some high-end dark robust here this morning. That's what they were bottling, but cheers, Fred. Cheers. Isn't that good? It just smells like when you're growing up and they're boiling.
It sure does.
When my dad was making syrup as a kid, it just the whole place. So what do we have?
We have two 275-gallon totes sitting here. This is the equivalent of 10 55-gallon drums sitting right here on this pallet jack.
And it doesn't take up much room.
Doesn't take up much space. This is the outer shell right here.
There's a lot of cardboard in that.
It's 1.5 inches thick.
Yeah, is that? And you said that's for heavier products.
For heavier products, what we do is the liner on the inside of it, we use a heavier liner for heavyweight products, anything over 10 pounds a gallon. These triangle pieces right here, those contain the flexible bag liner that will hold the product.
Yeah, I see it's got a 2-inch bung here.
It has a 2-inch dispense right there.
You know what we can do is we'll make ourselves a little desk real quick. I'll go get a drum. Those are like those are our workbenches here.
The drums?
Yeah, we'll just grab a drum. That way we have something to set our maple syrup on.
That would be good.
Yeah, it would. Do you know what maple syrup's good on?
Everything.
Everything but the floor, Fred.
Yeah, unless you're not the one cleaning it up.
Everything but the floor. So, I'm going to do this one-handed. I've rolled enough drums. So, now that I've made everybody seasick, all right, you want to put this together?
Sure, let's put this together. I'm going to separate the components. Now, this
Sure.
isn't how an order of totes comes to you. This
It doesn't
is
come in
how-
your minivan?
Well, the sample order came in my minivan. Based on very efficient LTL trucking.
Yeah, trucking right now around the country is just a mess.
It
It
is
really
awesome.
is.
This right here, the bag liner, these would come 24 to a pallet. 24
Gotcha.
to a pallet.
What is like industry standard? Like, do people reuse the outside if it's in good shape?
Yes. It's a logistics issue, really. How far away are you shipping it? How well does your customer take care of it? But what will happen for companies that are shipping a short distance, once they fill this, they ship it to their customer empties it, their customer will pull the bag out of it and throw it away, and then knock it down flat and stack 10, 12 of them up on a pack.
I mean, these things are really stout.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. I feel better about this than I do the outside of an IBC tote.
Oh, I've got some videos that I can share with you.
So if I wanted to, I work with a lot of farmers, and moving drums around, you know, it can be tedious, labor intensive. So if I wanted to, I could send these to a farmer.
Absolutely.
And he could fill it with syrup.
Absolutely.
You know, this syrup here, I believe, came from Maryland, and it's just delicious.
What we might do, depending on how many you would want to send to a farm, if it's 2 or 3, you would have to send them from here.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's 24,
Then you can
we
do
would
truck.
ship them direct for you.
Yeah, that saves me a lot of energy. I've got several farmers I'm thinking of right now. I'm going to send them this video, and they know who they are. Because we do a lot of one-way 55-gallon drums. And you and I were doing the math here, Fred, and it's literally half the cost to do this.
Absolutely. That's just the packaging cost. That's not talking handling costs.
Right, and we test every drum, so if I bring in a tote, that's 1/5 the amount of work for my team. That's a stout pallet.
This pallet right here, if you buy a pallet from us, this is the pallet that you would get from us.
Yeah?
Reason being, for your product to be 11 pounds a gallon, using this pallet right here, you could stack it 3 times.
Gotcha. No kidding. So you can
With a
stack
Forerunner
it.
pallet.
You got to really make sure that it's on that pallet right.
Correct. Yep. and
Like
that's
right
part
from the
of-
beginning.
Well, and the box is the same shape as the pallet, so you'll know if you have it on the pallet incorrect.
And this is standard pallet, which is what,
This is a
42,
40 by 48 pallet.
40 by 48?
So, and remember from our discussion, I just had my shoulder surgery 4 months ago.
So I'm going to stand here and watch you just struggle.
Yes,
You good? You need a hand? I can do this.
let me try.
Okay.
This will be my first demonstration.
If you drop to the ground, we'll have to do a
I
we'll
drop-
have to do a retake if you drop to
If
the
I
ground.
drop to the ground, I would appreciate it if you would quit recording.
Hey,
Personally.
just use your good arm, Fred.
I'm going to. That's why I came around to this side so I can go left-handed. So down here, this hole down here is the dispense hole.
Okay.
Obviously, we want that one end of the pallet or the other.
Yep. Makes sense.
Since the box is the same shape as the pallet, if you have it wrong, it'll look really funny.
Gotcha.
So, what you'll see inside this box,
I see that.
inside here, if you know boxes, this is 2 90-pound liners laminated together.
Okay. So the stuff in the middle might not be as rigid as the stuff on the outside.
This right here is 180 pound, and these liners right here, the wavy part right here, which is called the flutes, that's a 33-pound medium. These liners right here, 8 of them, are 90-pound liners. That's our heavy duty.
Gotcha.
If you were shipping edible oil, these would be 69 pound instead of 90 pound.
Okay. This is as heavy duty as you get.
Exactly. Let me just get this up. Give me a little more direction.
Sure. We got room. Let's use it.
So what I do, these are really designed for one person to put together. These little flaps right here, this is how I handle the box.
Gotcha.
I grab that flap, I pick it up, drag it up onto the box, onto the pallet, excuse me.
Oh, that was a trick.
This right here,
I see that. I almost missed that trick.
secret sauce.
That is.
When you get it here, you bounce it
Okay.
3 times. You set it down.
You did that so quick and made it look so easy. I missed it. But I think we got it. I think we, from the picture, can tell.
We're about 80% done right now.
Okay.
If you remember, they gave you the wrong part, right? This is the bag liner.
Okay.
This is a 3-ply linear low-density polyethylene liner, 3 mils per ply.
You said 190 degrees is what it's rated.
190 degrees F.
Yep.
So, this is the dispense.
Yep.
We want that to line up with the dispense hole at the bottom.
Okay.
And I say that kind of jokingly because that kind of makes sense. You can put it in backwards.
I got
you.
you.
Only do that once.
Yeah.
So,
But you said most people actually suck it out of the top, right? When they dispense.
Depending on what the product is and their manufacturing process.
Gotcha.
You can either do it through the bottom or through the top.
Cool.
We have tamper evidence seal over the top. So at this point, I tear that off.
Standard 2-inch bung like on a drum.
2-inch bung, just like on a drum, but it's made out of food grade 2-inch.
Okay.
While we have this up here on the top, I'm going to open up the dispense hole just to show it.
Sure. This is definitely for a prototype, or not a prototype, but a. What are we doing?
This is a sample. It's just a
demonstration.
So, if your customer was to pump it out of the bottom, what we have is when we remove this cap, inside is the cutter. It's in upside down. We have a blue piece of film right there that's covering up the dispense hole that allows you to take the cap off and the product doesn't come off. So what you do is you take that cap, you turn it over so the teeth are pointing down. In the valves that you have up in your office,
So as you thread it in,
it pushes this through.
You know what? They need to sell these with every Tylenol bottle. You ever try to take that foil thing off the inside?
That's why I have a pocket knife. So, this space right here that does not have any teeth does not cut through that membrane, so that's just a flap that does not come out and get into your product.
I got you. So this keeps that blue thing from coming off.
Being cut completely off. Exactly.
That's kind of genius, actually.
So I wish I could take credit for it. Depending on where that video goes, I may take credit for it.
We have a pretty good following of people. People want to know this stuff. They do. Yeah, I know. You've been doing this for, you said 30 years.
30 years. Exactly.
You know, I love maple syrup, and I've been doing it a while, and it just had to restart there. I ran out of storage in my BlackBerry.
Basically, we would have a jig that would be set right across the top of the tank.
And that's for the person filling.
That's for the person filling, and if you're dispensing out of the top, we would use it for that also.
It basically braces it so whatever you're putting in there to fill or pull out, you'll basically protect that liner.
Exactly.
I'm just guessing.
Absolutely. Since I'm short, I use one of these little grabbers to come down here, reach down here and grab the edge of the bag. This is where we would hook it right into the little bridge.
Okay.
And we would unscrew the cap. And then you would put your fill wand or however you're going to fill straight down into the 2-inch hole.
And the bridge doesn't travel with the tote.
No, sir. That's something you keep here or at your customer. The customer would have one also.
So
if they were going to dispense out of the
When
top.
we fill this with syrup, does that bag just kind of grow into the box? Is that?
It does. If you notice down in the bottom, if you look like back here in the back, you see where the corners are folded?
I do.
And then in the front?
Yeah.
What happens is as product goes down and spreads across the bottom of the tote, those corners open up, and as product rises to the top, those flaps open up also, and it will guide that dispense gland right into the dispense hole all by itself.
Oh, so you don't have to stick your fingers in there.
Exactly.
But, I would have stuck my fingers in there trying to.
That's when I would do the video. So once the tote's full, the tote's going to be full right up as practically full as possible. 275 gallons is about right here. I don't know if you're going to fill the weight or if you're going to fill the volume. So that just depends on how you.
Usually, in the bulk syrup market, syrup's sold by the weight.
By weight. So you're probably going to shoot about 3,000 pounds.
Yep.
So you're going to be right about here.
Now, does that just kind of sit up here and just jiggle? Like as it travels down the road?
Once you take it off the jig out of it, you have just the level of the product.
Now, do you fasten it to the cardboard?
Yes, but we're going to fasten it to the cardboard after we put the lid on.
Okay.
So we would put the 2-inch fill cap back in. And then, I don't know, I'm assuming you're going to do some type of a tamper evidency on it.
So there's a lid that goes on top of all this.
Corrugated cap, exactly.
Okay, so I'll hold this.
Yep.
And you said you can stack these 3 high, Fred?
With the pallet that you see here, this heavy-duty pallet with the 4 runners.
Gotcha.
That's key, because a lot of your stacking strength comes from the pallet.
The 4 runners is key, so don't be cheap and put in a cheap pallet and then expect it to work.
Exactly. Now, I always tell people...
I can put the bag down?
Yes.
Okay.
If we had filled the tote, the bag would be right at the top of the thing.
Okay, yeah.
I always tell people this is the hardest part of the tote because I've got short little arms. So if you ever worked in the pizza industry, you pre-fold it, my short little arms reach out, and I have to use my chest.
It's a giant pizza box.
A giant pizza box. Then I spin it around. Everything is really designed for one person to do it. Dotted line is still where we want to strap it to the pallet so it doesn't bounce off.
Okay, so you definitely want to use the strapping.
Absolutely.
And then this is where, I see you got a little hole here.
Yeah, if you want to do a test sample of the product before you dispense the tote, you can pull that
I see it's perforated here.
And your dispense cap will be right in this area.
I notice it says no knife.
Yes, it's still a flexible liner.
Gotcha.
Flexible liners and knives work really well together.
We encourage sarcasm here.
Yes.
We do.
Yes, I know that. So.
Well, this is awesome, Fred. Thanks for coming in and doing this.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody's going to enjoy this. This is just something that's kind of new to us. Obviously, we use stainless drums in the industry, but one of these drums, you could buy 2 of these. So thank you, Fred.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate you letting me come in.